All right, so here's a good one. Just occurred to me. Ding. If you want to talk about conspiracy theories, boy, this one would take, I don't know, 1,000 years. But I've been thinking about words, as you know. I've been thinking about how a definition has replaced a previous definition for the same word, and also how one word, one vocalization can have two meanings, especially in English. So there are some videos on YouTube about spelling. Words are actually spells, and English is created for, I don't know, people who just want to pick apart everything, who turn their attention to English and think that English is invented for some kind of spellcraft or something. So there are people who see spellcraft in everything. People like Jungle Surfer from Australia. A lot of people on YouTube are saying that words are spells. And of course, in the Christian community, there's the idea that if you name it and claim it, you get whatever you want. There's the idea, much older, but the same idea, let there be light, God spoke the world into existence, so words are very powerful. So if we break that down into letters are very powerful, words are very powerful, sounds are very powerful. Om is supposedly a primordial sound. So the sound I'm getting to now is how Christ Mass, which is the celebration of the birth of Christ, Christ Mass became Christmas. So they took out the T, Christmas. They turned Mass into Miss, Christmas. And they turned Christ into Chris. So it just occurred to me, oh, Christ Mass, Kris Kringle. Is that how Christ Mass became Christ Mass, which became Christmas, which became Christmas? So what made me think about that was listening to Christmas carols, which I really enjoy, Christmas songs, which I really enjoy, carols most of all, but nobody plays carols hardly. But I love the body of work called Christmas songs because it includes songs from various decades, songs with various orchestrations. You've got the orchestras, you've got the instrumentals, you've got the choirs, you've got the solos, of course, you've got the country versions, you've got the jazz versions, R&B versions. So you've got all these different versions of the same songs and songs from different decades and different themes. You've got the theme of the cold, you've got the theme of giving, you've got the theme of frivolity, you've got the theme of different characters like Rudolph and Santa and Frosty, and you've got lots of different versions of the same song and a whole body of work that has such variety in it. So I like Christmas music, always have. So we've got Christ Mass, which became Christmas. And what brought me to that was the fact that when you sing, you don't pronounce things the way you speak. When you sing in the choral style or, the proper style. So you don't say Christmas when you're in a choir. You say Christmas, not is. But many of the singers say is, Christmas. Judy Garland, quite early, for what I can tell, was saying Christmas and have yourself a very Merry Christmas. Meet me in St. Louis, St. Louis. There's another thing. Why did Louis become Louis and spelled the same way? And then we've got Johnny Mathis. He really, Christmas. It's like, really? You're going going to put that much emphasis on pronouncing it in that way. So they're singing it as Christmas, and it was already spoken as Christmas, or they wouldn't have done that, because it would have stuck out like a sore thumb. But if someone wanted to change Christ Mass to Christmas, that's one way they would do it, is turn Christ to Chris, and we've got Kris Kringle. So there you go. Now, how many millennia would it take to set that up? So, back to the YouTube conspiracy theorists and the con theory. We've got people who believe that the controllers, the Illuminati, the reptilians, the other, they, and they all disagree about who they are, but they're not us, right? They got all these theories that they have been around for thousands of years, and that they set up these long plans. And that's why at the beginning of World War I, the Archduke Ferdinand, there's a reference to the end of World War I with November 11th, I think. No, not November 11th. That's World War II. But at the beginning of World War I, Archduke Ferdinand, there's some reference to the end of World War I, which couldn't be a coincidence. There's the Kennedy and Lincoln crossover. Lincoln was killed on Good Friday, so there's the Abraham, Jesus, Lincoln connection. What day was Kennedy killed? I have no idea. So there's all these connections. The building of the World Trade Center coincides in some way with the bombings of the World Trade Center, which people pretend are planes. Of course, there were planes, but buildings don't fall like that when they're hit by a plane. Just Google controlled demolitions and watch a controlled demolition versus any other kind of building falling, and you'll see that that's a controlled demolition. 2 controlled demolitions. And then, of course, we've got building number 7, which had a controlled demolition and no plane. So anyway, so there are people who believe that these things are set up for decades, these psychological operations, false flags. And then there are people who believe they've been set up for millennia. So I don't know when Kris Kringle became popular, and if people were already saying Christmas. But it's very interesting to me. Don't know how you would research all of that and tie it together. I mean, that's really what a conspiracy theory is tying things together that are so disparate to the people who can't see it. So it just seems crazy. And I mean, indeed, the world's a crazy place, crazy things happen. But did that happen? That's a long, big stretch there. But if it leads you to think about something you've never thought about before, or think about things you've thought about for decades in a way you haven't thought about before, hey, great. Have a good day.